because we're going to invite Oyuna to come on, who has a beautiful cashmere company based in London over the past 23 years. So that's quite a lot of seasons that she's been running her incredible collection. And she's going to be talking to us about the identity of the cashmere goat, as well as the special place that it comes from in the highlands of the world. And she's going to introduce her collection. So Oyuna, welcome very much to the Hope Forum. We loved meeting you in Paris and in Rome, and now we're very privileged to hear from you today.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So shall I wait until Lindsay's presentation is finished?
No, you can just share and then it will switch.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm here to thank you all for being here on Sunday afternoon when you could be doing so many other things, but you chose to be here. You chose to listen to these amazing speakers, and this is all thanks to amazing idea that Lee, Philip, and Isabella had, and thank you for having me. I'm here to talk about Kashmir. So Kashmir is very much part of my culture, where I'm from, and it's very much more than a fiber. So in my presentation is very much about visual imagery about this amazing fiber. And fiber is not just the fiber, it's more, it's a culture, it's a whole country, it's people, it's the land. So that's I want to share with you very, very briefly. So what is Kashmir? Just to make sure that everyone knows, some people think it comes from sheep or rabbit. So it's also part of a woolen fiber that comes from an animal, which is very similar to sheep, but it comes from a goat, specifically from Kashmir goat. And different from sheep, Kashmir fiber is an undercoat of a Kashmir goat, and it gets combed. And usually Kashmir fiber is very, very fine. So wool fiber and Kashmir fiber, both measured in microns. So if you think about, just to give you a comparison, human hair is around 70 to 100 microns, whereas Kashmir is 14 to 19. So it's 5 to 7 times thinner than human hair. It's shorter in length than wool. So it's roughly 2.8 to 4.2 centimeters. And in terms of yield, it only gives 150 to 200 grams of Kashmir underhair per year per goat, which in production ends up being roughly 50 grams. So in a way, it means it would take 3 to 4 to 5 goats to make one Kashmir jumper, which is not even so thick. So you can imagine the extent of work that goes into the whole thing. And shared strength with fiber or with wool and Kashmir is both protein, keratin-based material, exactly the same as our nails, hair. So I always say, imagine your hair. You want to be in the fresh air, see the sun, and not being stored in damp old warehouses. You can just use your wool shampoo to wash it. You can just put it in the air to air it. Or if, let's say, a friend was smoking next to you all evening, you can just put it in the radiator. Next day, the smell will be gone. And of course, both wool and Kashmir are both biodegradable, flame resistant, and they dye very beautifully. Breathable. It keeps you warm in winter, but let's it breathe in summer as well. So this is just to cover what Kashmir is. Oh yeah, before we move on, in order for Kashmir to be defined as Cashmere, it needs to be less than 19 microns. So Cashmere is usually around 14 to 19 microns. So this is the Cashmere goat that it comes from. It's Cashmere goat from Mongolia. I love his picture. And then here is the pile of undercoat that has been combed off by a nomad. Combing happens by hand. And if you zoom out, this is the place, this is the land, these are the people who take care of these goats. So you can see a nomadic family, usually there is 1 or 2 or 3 girls, and it might be like children in one, or son with their family next to each other. So this is a very, very early spring in Mongolia. River is still frozen. Mongolia is also known as a land of blue sky. It's almost 365 days a year. We have blue sky, and it's really, air is crisp. It's very cold, but sunny, and always this upbeat energy. Here you can see the Kashmir goats and sheep. They usually are together, and goats are quite smart. They're very curious. They jump around, they climb up rocks, and they usually bring the herd back home. And sheep love following the goats. There in the background, you can see a nomad that's taking care of this herd. There he is, just creating a little hole in the frozen river to water his horse. This is a scene in summer. As I said, Kashmir goats, they're very cheeky. They love jumping around and being very cheeky. And now, next few slides about nomads, who are the most important people in Mongolia, also in my life. They are most amazing people I've ever met. This is the image in the Western Mongolia, and he's just sitting outside his home. And this is another friend of his who's the head of the local community of nomads. He takes care of his community and also does amazing projects, like, for example, one project, just to give you an idea what projects would run, from the little towns and cities, the plastic wrappers of sweets, for example, they fly in the wind, and then goats and sheep, they see this on pastures and they don't know what it is, and they just consume it, and it can lead to suffocation. So one of the projects he organized around his community is go around and really collect all of this. So just an example of impact of urban life on the countryside. So there he is, just buttoning his dell. Dell is a national robe, extremely elegant piece of clothing, in my opinion. And here is a picture of one Mongolian family in their valley. Usually one family is within one or neighboring several valleys. And I love repeating the sentence that ger, which is a yurt, where they is their home. Imagine that that's their bedroom, and you see the little white dot there, and they wake up in the morning, they open the door, and this valley is their living room. Here is one of the most amazing pictures of the young nomad, also in the Western Mongolia. It was late at night. You can see the stars. I love this picture. In general, I love sharing pictures of our nomads. It's just the best thing. So if you ever want to go to Mongolia, you have to sleep under the stars, because it's like 180 degrees stars, and it's just out of this world. And you can see here how it is. So he's outside of his home. Here he is next morning with his very, very sweet wife. You will see them talking later. And that's their home in the back, where you can see the little white dot. That's where we slept. And because this is the picture when we went hiking up the mountains next morning, because they hosted us very kindly, and it was the most comfortable and warm welcome that we ever had. So where do nomads live? Nomads live in gers that are very much a miracle, amazing piece of human dwelling that's been really recognized by UNESCO Cultural World Heritage as well. This here you can see the picture of the rooftop where the chimney is going out, and you can regulate the light and also the amount of air coming in and out through the roof, as you can see, moving that felted cover. And this is the interior, for example. This is also, she's also very, very sweet young nomad. Interiors is very colorful and very comfortable. In the back, it's a little bit blurry image, but you can see usually there is an image of either, it's definitely always a picture of Dalai Lama and maybe Green Tara or other one of the deities, and also pictures of the family in the picture frame. Here you can see the poles that hold the wall of the ger, just to give you an idea, and wall covered in textiles. Here he is outside of his ger. So ger is the Mongolian word for yurt. Ger also means home. So he's wearing one of the jumpers that we've created for Earth Day project. And this is the view. When you're sitting inside, it's like having an amazing live picture frame on the wall. And most important is, of course, the fireplace, which is just under the roof. And this is, everything happens around the fireplace. So talking about nomads, and the whole idea why I'm talking about nomads, where do they live and what do they do, I think it's very important part of where the fiber comes from, how products are made. So I love talking about like more just beyond fiber and design and weaving and knitting. So here you can see an example of amazing craftsmanship that Mongolians have. It's a traditional wooden saddle with the beautiful hand embroidery and silver work. Dairy products are very important in Mongolians' lives. So you can see this curd drying outside of a ger on a traditional table. Snuff bottles are exchanged when they meet each other, can go into each other's home. You can also see this beautiful robe. All the trims is all hand finished. And Mongolia is one of the two countries with Tibetan Buddhism. The Tibet and Mongolia, we share the same religion, and this is the beautiful sculpture of the mid-16th century Tara by Ulaanbaatar, one of the most amazing crafts and the leading thinkers of the era. This is a traditional Mongolian silver bowl that we drink tea from. We usually drink tea with milk. And you see, this is the example of how the valley is used. It's very much a living room. And as I was saying, the Buddhist country, this is the wall of ancient capital, Erdenezu, with stupas all around. And as a nomadic culture, vocal culture is very, very important for us. And we love singing songs and riddles and poems. But in terms of singing songs, its number one most popular subject is all about beauty of the land. And then second is about horses. Maybe third is about moms, and then fourth about love. So that's kind of order. Yeah, I think it's quite telling what countries have songs about. Sports is very much part of Mongols. Horse race, archery, for example. So you can see it's traditional. She's about to shoot. Very cute. And of course, horses. We are very much a horse nation. And children learn to ride a horse before they start walking, more or less. And then which land this Kashmir comes from? So Mongolia is a huge country. It's almost the size of the Western Europe, 3 times the size of France. And we have a variety of nature. So this view with the small lake is quite common in Mongolia, with running hills. In the south, we have deserts with sand dunes. In the west, we have high mountains with snow peak, high mountains, like I think 4,300 is our highest mountain. North is very much taigas. And in between, lots of rivers and lakes. This is a beautiful Husko Lake in the north of Mongolia. You can drink water from it. And another family, another gear there. This is like just 2 hours drive outside of Ulaanbaatar. It's so easy to leave the city and just be in the wilderness. It takes half an hour. And in Mongolia, we have usually we have just like unmarked, no sign roads, so to speak, path like this. So you really need to know where you're going, or you need to have a driver who knows, because even our drivers sometimes get lost. And there's very few roads, big roads like this. And of course, one of them leads to Ulaanbaatar, the capital, where all the Kashmir production processing happens. So all the Kashmir collected from nomads, we work with the SFA, which is a Sustainable Fibre Alliance, which has been funded by an amazing thinker and doer, Una Jones. She's based in Wales. And now SFA is doing a most amazing job on land, on ground, with their teams to really reviving traditional wisdom of Mongolian nomadism to really protect the land for the future generations. So SFA has cooperatives, and so each cooperative has several families. So families, they comb the Kashmir and they collect, go to that cooperative center, and then from there it gets collected and driven to Ulaanbaatar. And this is just, and then of course Kashmir gets processed, and Kashmir production is very complex process. It's roughly 100 different steps. This is just a very short screenshot of different stages that it goes through. These are the pictures we took for our hands photo project that we exhibited at Andreas Murkudis in Berlin for our 15th anniversary, when he gave us his second shop, entire shop, and we did lots of imagery, music, video, all about Mongolian culture, modern art, and also, of course, Kashmir. And the idea of these images was to really share pictures of hands only. We went around and just took pictures of all the hands that are involved in the Kashmir production. So starting with the nomad who takes care of the goat on the top left, and then you can see the second picture is a picture of hands of his wife. which is very important. She's cooking, she's also taking care of animals, taking care of children. Third one is music, is very much important in our nomad's life. Combing, and then the hands of a driver that's taking combed cashmere, driving to Ulaanbaatar, and then once it gets to the factory, second row, first picture, it's everything needs to be hand sorted by color and length and different measurements, and then it gets washed. And there's several pictures about testing for dandruff, the length, resilience. And then, of course, there's various pictures of making fiber, dyeing fiber, and then yarn, and then testing the yarn, and weaving and knitting, and of course, designer's hand making patterns, and then the design gets given to the factory, to technical designer, and basically just to give you an idea, this is the process. And I have to say, in terms of process, in Mongolia, we also have this same issue we heard today, and also in Rome, how there isn't spinning, there isn't enough spinning, there isn't a factory that could spin, and there's only one or two places, and it's just not enough. So currently, Mongolia produces 40% of world's cashmere, but 85% of our cashmere leaves the country as a raw material, and only 15% leaves as a product, finished product. So as a brand, and also SFA, and also a lot of other designers, we really working towards reversing this number, so that the value actually stays in the country, provenance, authenticity, so that to keep the value in the country, to being proud made in Mongolia products. So several of the slides of some of our cashmere pieces that can be made, that are born from this land. That's why there's a juxtaposition of these images of Kashmir and the land next to it. Examples of our home cashmere products. We also have ready-to-wear products for both women and men.
Oyuna, maybe before we present the video, you can explain about how your latest collection was inspired by the landscape itself.
Okay. Yeah, so this is, for example, an image from our Autumn-Winter 25 collection, which is called Caravan. Usually, I start with the concept of the collection, and the concept for this collection was a concept of a caravan, of a Mongolian family moving from their autumn places to wintering places. So we usually, Mongols move 4 or 5 times a year to different pasturing lands. There are unwritten rules that's been handed over by generations, by families. It's just unreal how it just works. There is no contract, there is no border, but everyone respects the unwritten rules, and it just works. And so this amazing movement, with the poetry of nomadic migration, was the concept of our Autumn 25 collection. It's all about colors changing from beautiful autumnal honeys, caramels, slowly turning into chocolate, and then winter comes, earth becomes black, and the snow falls on it, so black and white. So later I will show you a very, very short video about that collection. And this is also part of that collection, the earth and the snow. And this is just a quick reference how made in Mongolia, amazing cashmere made by amazing nomads can absolutely be appreciated on the world stage. And this is the short video about the collection. Can you hear the sound, Philippe?
You can.
Yes?
Actually, Oyuna, maybe it's better if I share it.
Sorry?
I think it's better if I share it since we're going to close with it. I'll just share it for you.
Okay.
The sound might be better.
I'll stop sharing, right?
Yeah, I'll try to get better sound for you.
Okay, thank you. This music, the background music is Mongolian Softness. And this collection is called Global Romance. Thank you, Philippe. And next, I would love to share this amazing. I have several series of these videos asking same questions, different people, mainly nomads. And this question was about what is the best thing that you do. So I'll let Philippe play that.
Хамгийн сайхан зүйл нь гэх юм бол гадаа цэвэр агаарт байх нь л.
Сайхан налайс намар аюугаа сайхан хурдтай, ногоотой, 100 цаг л удаа малчин. Үнэхээр одоо их сайхан баяртай, жаргалтай байдаг да.
Өргөн удам нутагтаа одоо тэрнийхээ эзэн нь болоод одоо мал хуугаа өсгөөд, үр хүүхдүүдээ өсгөөд тэгээд одоо байгаль цагуурынхаа одоо халуунд нь халж хүүдэнд нь хөрж тэгээд асан цогцож байж байгаа тэр одоо үйл явц нь л одоо хамгийн аз жаргалтай байх гэж миний хувьд боддог.
Малаа өрүүлээ явж яхад жаргал шүү дээр.
Өөрийнхөө гараар бүх юмаа юу боловсруулж ийн гэдэг утгаараа.
Тэр малын төлийг бүрөө авч чадж байна гэдэг тухайн хүний одоо малчин хүний бас нэг том хөдөлмөрийнхаа цаана гарч ирж байгаа юм шүү дээ.
Эцгийн минь одоо буйнт мал гэж хэлдэг юм да. Тэгээд тэднийг одоо байнга өөртөө хэрэглээд өсгөөд үржүүлээд явж байгаа маш их баяртай байгаа.
За малчин байх хамгийн сайхан зүйл бол өрн дулаантаа зоолгаад малынхаа төлийг бүрэн боожуулж аваад тэгээд эргээд малынхаа ноос ноолуурыг аваад ингээд байх бол одоо хамгийн жаргалтай хамгийн сайхан зүйл.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.